vote on anything, but I know Michelle might be a couple of minutes late.
Okay. No worries. I just didn't hadn't been in this situation before, so didn't know the rules.
Okay, and the time is now 7 p.m. and this meeting is called to order. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order, suspending certain provisions of the Open Law, General Law 30A 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order, imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Finance Committee is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. Members of the public who would like to participate in the meeting via Zoom can do so by clicking this link. Members of the public who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may also do so via telephone by dialing 1-646-558-8656 and enter meeting ID 824-7300-7891, then press pound and press pound again at the next voice prompt. Members of the public attending this meeting virtually will be allowed to make comments if they wish to do so during the portion of the hearing designated for public comment by following the steps previously noted, then press *9 on the telephone keypad or use the raise hand function on Zoom. This will notify the meeting host that the caller wishes to speak. In the event that despite our best efforts, we are not able to provide for real-time access, we will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as we are able. And now I'd like to take roll call. Chairman Doherty is excused. John Dugas.
Present.
Mary Ann Galezzo.
Here.
Michelle Kincaid.
Here.
Andrew Levine.
Here.
Lee Martinson. Bernie Nally.
Here.
Kevin Stokes. And Manganelli is here. Good evening and welcome to the Shawshene Technical School. Brad Jackson and Melanie Hagman. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Sort of like.
I know, you were the only one I did in person last year, so.
So, you can follow whatever format you'd like. If you want to start with your operating budget or an introduction to what your year's been like, that would be fine too.
Well, if I could, Madam Chair, I just wanted to introduce myself to some members of the committee who may not know me. My name is Brad Jackson, and I'm the new Superintendent Director at Shawshene Tech. Having spent 16 years as superintendent for the town of Holliston, I joined Shawshene on July 1st as its Superintendent Director. I'm a Wilmington resident, live right next door to Town Hall. Was kind of looking forward to the walk, the commute tonight, but this is probably a little warmer. I have 4 kids who went through the Wilmington public schools. My youngest with Michael Manganelli and Michelle's son as well. So I've been in Wilmington a long time, and I am very, very grateful to be part of the Shawshene Tech community. It's an incredible school. I always said and believe it today that Wilmington has 2 awesome high schools. We're here tonight to share with you the budget for Shawshene Tech for FY21 and answer any questions you may have. So with that, with your permission, I turn it over to Melanie, who is the person with all of the expertise and experience, she'll walk you through our presentation tonight.
Thank you. And I hope I sent everything to Jeff, so hopefully you have a copy of the presentation that I'm going to go over at this point. I don't know if I can do the screen or if someone there wants to share it, or if you just want me to go over it, whatever's, you know, your call. But
You can go ahead and share your screen.
you want me to? Let's see. Well, if I can do it. There we go. Okay, thank you. So again, thank you, everyone. Good to see you. We're here tonight to do the FY22 budget for Shawshene Tech. Oh, and we always like to start off by bragging about our students and how successful we are. So out of our 314 current seniors, 52% of them are out on co-op, 160 employer partners that we have, and 75 of them are repeat partners. They love hiring our kids. 112 of these employers are actually based within our 5 towns, which is wonderful that, again, everyone supports our school. About 131,000 combined monthly wages are earned and spent in our district by these students. And we remain one of the top 2 schools ranked for co-op. So despite COVID and everything else going on, our students are still out in the workforce working, which is great. The picture that you see here is actually on our fields. It's the Tollett Field facilities that you've approved in our capital budget, and these are our students working on it. We did have to hire a crane company, so they're not running the crane that you see, but it's real life experience that our carpenter students and our masons actually do on a regular basis. And despite how cold it has been, they've been out there working and they love it. So in our FY22 proposed capital budgets, just want to talk about some of the highlights. You have all the detail in front of you, but programming and web, there's about $32,000 in there for computers. This is actually a tool that they use in their program. We've talked about the esports over the past couple of years. It's up and coming and our students love it during school, after school. It's very exciting. With design and visual, they're Apple computers. There's about $40,000 for them. And we have talked consistently about replacing our gym floor, stripping it down and repainting it, waxing it. That's about $102,000. And we need to replace the bleachers. The bleachers are old, outdated. They're very difficult to move in and out during sporting events. Sometimes it takes 2 people just to move them. It's very concerning at this point in time. So we've got money in the budget to replace those next year. There's about $220,000 for interactive display boards. As you can imagine, with all this remote learning going on, what we realize is that there's not a lot of consistency in the building for teachers moving. So we really need to get display boards that are, current, that they can go from one class to the next. Teachers can log in, students are there, and everything works seamlessly. There's also switches and servers to continue to support our online remote learning. Having said that, the total capital budget is about $1.2 million. Of that, we're proposing to use $182,000 between our grants and our revolving and any potential surplus in FY21 budget that we may have. This comes down to a total assessment to $1,035,114. This is consistent with the plan that you have seen from us for the past 6 years and even before that. So there's no surprise there. That's the consistent assessment that we've been sharing with you. Another one of the projects that we've been able to support through our funding is our students built a beautiful patio outside our cafeteria. Our masons went out, did all the brickwork, and this is our metal fabrication welding program who actually built the railings and put a nice ST on there for us. Again, it's something our students are proud when they're able to do projects around our school, and they'll hopefully, when the weather is nice and restrictions lift a little bit more, they can actually go outside and enjoy the fresh air during lunch. Shifting into our FY22 operating budget, our total budget is only up $781,000. Of that, $546,000 is a direct relation to our contracted obligation for our teachers union. $35,000 is for Middlesex and our OPEB. $305,000 is transportation cost. Unfortunately, we are coming off a 5-year contract with our current company. And as you can imagine, things have shifted a little bit. And unfortunately, right now, we're seeing the results of that. It's actually up a little bit more than that, but it's a real number. Our contract cleaners, same thing, coming to the end of our 3-year contract with them. We outsource our custodial work, and that's going up about $37,000 between all the new, sanitations and everything. That's going up $37,000. All other line items are up about $82,000. And if you do the math, it doesn't quite work. Our bond issue is actually down. We paid off one of those, so that's down about $225,000. So those numbers combined is our total increase of $781,000. Our OPEB liability, this is our 6-year funding in at a rate of 5%, is our, we will have funded 2.9 million, and just got my actuarial report, which reminds me I owe it to Mr. Hall. We got to send that over to him. But our benefit obligation was over $30 million. And this is a consistent, again, plan that we've agreed to with the state that we would fund this at 5% every year going forward. So our total operating budget is $32,470,000, combined with our capital assessment of $1,035,000, brings us to a total Shawshene Tech budget of $33,505,000. It is up 2.39%. Our proposed assessment, I'm sure the most concerning one to you, obviously, is Wilmington. It is up significantly, but as you'll see in a minute, that the reason for your significant increase of a little over 14% is due to enrollment. All 5 of our towns actually lost enrollment this year. Shawshene was up 40 students, but every single one of our towns went down. And as you know, when that happens, the money shifts to Shawshene. So we receive more funds as a result of the addition in students. So that's why you can see that your number from Shawshene alone is up 30 kids. And again, you lost about 400 in the district. So those dollars did shift to Shawshene Tech. Applications I wanted to show you again for planning. As you can see, it's been consistent increase in Wilmington. About 120 kids applied for the incoming freshmen in the fall. So you guys are up another 20 kids. Not saying everyone's been accepted, but just to show you there is a growing trend for application as an increase coming over to Shawshene Tech. So that will continuously have an impact on your assessment as these numbers continue to grow. Now, the good news is Bedford's also up. You saw that, right? We haven't seen that many students in Bedford in my whole tenure. They are 41 kids. So that's a good thing, right? It helps you guys. Sorry. See, I can't interact with you. It's not the same doing Zoom when I can be in a room with you. So most of you have seen our projected assessment sheets before. We start with the enrollment, the shifts again, as you can see. Bedford's up 7 kids. The worker is down 10. I know that's been an ongoing concern. Burlington's up 8. They've hit their 10%, which is good to see. Tewksbury's up 6, and Wilmington is up 29 students. So we could take our minimum contribution, which we get directly from the state. That's something DESE sends us. We then add our capital budget, and by our regional agreement, every member town is required to pay a minimum of 10%. So we charge 10% to Bedford and Burlington, then we deduct that off the total budget, take the remaining and reallocate that back out to the remaining 3 towns by enrollment. That comes up with our total minimum, excuse me, in capital. And then the overage is allocated directly by enrollment by our regional agreement. So we take our total budget, we subtract the minimum contributions, our projected Chapter 78, our transportation to come up with the amount assessed by regional agreement. Taking all those together, add up the columns, and again, as you can see, Wilmington's assessment is up. Sorry, the pictures are in my way of my screen. It's difficult, I apologize. So you can see the total assessment in Wilmington, again, that is going up 14%, about $690,000. But students' enrollment's up. Just wanted to show you some after you have that news, but look at how good we are, how successful we are. We have our Chapter 74 engineering program that you supported last year for us, and we have some great new equipment down there in our electronics shop with our students. We were able to build a shed for the Barica Housing Authority. This is actually a co-op partner team with the town of Bedford. So this is our 3rd year going with them. And I'm hoping that that's part of the reason why we're seeing such an increase, that our students want to play hockey together and be together. And that's it for me. Thank you all for your support, and we appreciate it. We have a great school. The next couple slides that I have here is, as you all know, we do get federal funds. One of them is Perkins that all vocational schools get. Got about 100,000, and just want to show you that not only do your assessments, the town help us, but we take this Perkins money and we're able to buy new technology and additional equipment for our programs to make sure that we provide the best for all of our students so they can be employable in our district. And this is, it's kind of scary sometimes when you go into the dental program, I'm not going to lie, when you see these at nighttime. But we were able to buy some dental equipment, some band saws, headsets. Again, you can go through this, but we just wanted to show you how proud we are of our school and that we're able to continue to buy the best equipment, like I said, to keep our kids employable. This is all recommendations by our advisory committee that meets with our programs twice a year, helps support us to make sure that, we're going in the right direction for all of our students. Quick and simple, you guys know me. Thank you so much for your time. No questions, right? We're all good? Appreciate it. All right. Thank you.
Just so everyone's aware, Teresa is reconnecting right now.
You're going to have to do it all over again, Melanie. She missed it.
Exactly.
Oh, she knows me. We're good. That's the beauty of technology, right?
Sorry about that, everybody. Apparently my computer froze.
Glad you have power. I heard some of Billerica was out without power this morning. I was a little worried.
Well, I've been having technical problems with this computer for the last couple of months, but never like that.
Melanie, I do have a question. It looks like the special ed is up quite a bit. Can you speak to that?
That is as a result, as I'm sure your school's going through the same thing, coming off some of the remote learning, some of the COVID experiences that our students have had. We're anticipating a higher need with services to support some of the mental health issues that some of the students may have experienced while they've been out learning remote. I don't know if Mr. Jackson wants to add a little bit to that, but I know our SPED director is concerned to make sure that we have proper services in place as we go to full-time, hopefully in the fall.
Right. So we're also adding another special education teacher that is in the budget for next year. That's our only new staff addition. Shasheen currently our student body is over 30%. Over 30% of our student body is on IEPs, compared to a statewide average of about 15 to 17% in most communities. So we service, we're very proud of the fact that we attract and serve so many students with special needs, but at the same time that comes with the requirement to provide them with those supports. So we have focused our resources on that, and as Melanie said, have particularly had to basically pick up the pace a little bit when it comes to providing support with for social emotional health as our students both struggle with remote learning and with the pandemic. And we expect to see that continue into the next year. Not that we're hoping we are expecting to be back full next year, but there is still going to be some residual challenges that our students are going to be facing for sure.
Have you seen an uptick in this year? I know you're kind of hybrid. You're on 1 week, off 1 week, correct?
Yes.
Have you seen any kind of emotional issues with the kids now, an uptick at all in this kind of hybrid platform you're doing?
Well, luckily, we're able to put eyes on every student at least once every other, for a week, once every other week. And we have now we have a 1.5 school psychologists that are connecting with students, so that when teachers are recognizing some students that are struggling, we're able to both connect with them remotely and spend some face-to-face time with them, some real quality face-to-face time in the week that they are in school. So our model actually has been, while the students, when they're home, in many cases do struggle, or students, not all of them, but we do see an increase in those numbers. We do think our model of education, where we're able to essentially have almost 60% of our students in the high school every day, has helped us kind of keep those kids in our sights with the resources that we have. We have in the past, however, had some challenges with compliance with special education timelines for IEPs and 3-year reevaluations and things like that. And that has been understandably a concern by our special ed parents and by me and our director of special services. So that's the other reason why we've invested in this one additional staff member in next year's budget.
Bernie Nally here. I wonder if we could kind of get an explanation of what the system is at the school now. Who's in school? How much time are they there? And wherever else are the other people? Are they doing any co-op stuff in the process?
Sure. So so our schedule is traditionally, in non-COVID times, 2 grades are in shop and 2 grades are in their academic classes. So grades 9 and 11 are in shop and grades 10 to 12 are in academics. And then the next week that switches. So in COVID, every shop is face-to-face. So every week that a student has their shop scheduled, they are in shop, physically, in automotive, in programming and web class, doing their hands-on learning, electrical, medical assisting, all of those things that really can't be, or are much more difficult to recreate remotely. When our students are in their academic week, they are connecting according to our bell schedule. So they start at 7:35 and they end at 2:05, and they go through each period, and teachers have been live streaming from Shawsheen. All of our teachers report to work every day, and they've been live streaming from their classrooms into the homes of our students since we started school in September. And in addition, students who have identified special needs on the academic side are given the option to physically be present in school during their academic week as well. So we have some students who are, because of their special needs, are in school every day. We also have, most of our students are in school every week and then at home for academics, for their academic week. And we have those 150 students that are on co-op. There's the juniors and seniors. They actually are never in school, or practically never in school, because they are doing their academic week at home. And when they're on co-op, they're going to their place of employment. So that's kind of a nutshell of what we do. We're really proud of what our teachers have been able to accomplish. This has been a collaborative effort between the administration and the Shawsheen Teachers Association. I have rarely come across a group of teachers that are more student focused and truly There was never an argument about teachers coming to school every day, starting in September. There was never an argument about, we're using 3 feet as our physical distancing standard in our shops, not 6 feet. We've been doing that since September. We've had about 40 cases of COVID during the school year. That's resulted in probably about 300 to 350 close contacts. And we've only had 1 case of suspected in-school transmission, which actually took place between 2 adults who share an office. So our students are very serious about being in school. High school kids are not known to be rule followers, but these kids are very, very serious. They want to be in school. I can count on one hand how many students I've had to remind to just put their mask over their nose. I mean, they are very compliant, and our teachers are incredibly flexible, and I'm very, very proud of them. And I'm proud of the model that we've been able to pull off in this horrible year.
Thank you very much.
Was that helpful, Chief?
Yes, oh yeah. It was great to hear the teachers there.
Follow-up question on the special ed kids. Is it every special education child that's on an IEP that you extended the invitation to be there every day? Or is it more focused to the high needs children?
It's more focused to the higher needs students, and then we, if capacity allows, we do bring it down. We do have some parents who have chosen to not have their children in school for academic week, even though they've been invited. And it's not, you don't necessarily have to be, it's not just IEP, it's special, it can be English language learners, and any of our students from some, who have special learning needs. So students on 504s who may have some attention challenges, and you all know this can be a challenge for students who struggle with attention. So it's not just students on IEPs, although that is the majority of them. And we have about 40 or 50 students from each grade that come in each week. So there's about 80 academic kids in the academic week physically present in our school, plus the other 2 grades.
I have a question regarding the increase in transportation.
Yes. We're coming off a 5-year bid, so we just had to put it out to bid, and that's an actual number that came in. It actually came in higher than that. We're working on ways to support that increase, but it actually is higher than that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Marian Galezo, are you using less buses at this point too?
No, we're not. We have 21 buses. That's been consistently what we've had. We're fortunate that parents have either driven them in or they found other means to get there. But a handful of our buses are at capacity, but there's a couple that aren't. So, we might have taken a Bedford bus that wasn't at capacity, and as they were driving through Billerica, they would pick up a few additional kids. So the drivers have been very creative in what they've done, and we're hoping to maintain forward. So we're still at 21 buses.
COVID capacity for these buses is about 20 or 22 students. So even though they look empty for
Oh, right.
the CDC standards, they're full.
It's another thing that people just don't even realize is impacted by.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I could do an hour on lunch. And I promise I won't, unless you ask any more questions about special ed, Marianne, and then I might.
Okay, I just have one other quick question regarding equipment under computer services.
Sure.
And I realize I missed all of your presentation, so I hope I'm not repeating.
That's okay. So the equipment under computer services, it's for interactive display boards, for switches, for servers. It's to help support the remote learning, to put consistency in the classrooms. We've got, some, outdated models. We've got some that are different models. So we're really trying to support the remote learning. So when teachers have to go into a different class or students are logging in from home, there's consistency and it's a seamless transition for them. So that's the 220,000 under equipment. It's to really support what we have and make it better for our students going forward.
Thank you.
Mary Ann Galezo, quick question. I think I figured it out, but if you could clarify. It looks like your web development and IT flip-flopped on the amount. Did you just put another person in another department, or?
Yes, so programming and web and ISSN, they're kind of the same, and we have a retiree. So we're leaning more towards the programming and web side versus ISSN. So that's why you see, there's 3 teachers in total in those 2 programs, and it's just switching from ISSN to programming and web through a retirement.
So speaking of that, would it be possible to make a note that next year we could put the number of full-time people next to the salary line?
Sure.
Mary Ann Galezo, just a quick question on the English. Looks like your contractual services, the software went up quite a bit. Is there new programs that you're buying for the English department?
Yes, typically we try to purchase like one program and have multiple license for the year for the school district. And I don't have the detail in front of me. I can get back to you on which one that is. I don't know off the top of my head, to be perfectly honest with you. They're trying to change. They're looking into different programs to support the testing that they do. I will have to look into that, to be honest. I don't know the answer.
In general, are you almost 100% away from using textbooks?
No. We're not a one-to-one school district. We do not have all our students do not have laptops or tablets, or so we still have to, that is a feature that I'm very seriously looking at in the near future, but not as part of the FY22 budget.
Okay.
And then eventually, when we can do that, then we can make that flip.
Okay. Are there any other questions regarding the budget? The operating budget?
Just while I have you here, I did want to tell you that the assessment that Ms. Hagman shared with you has not yet been voted by the Shawshing Tech School Committee. They are scheduled for March 23rd to make a final vote. We are hoping that we can find some excess and deficiency to apply to the to the assessments, to lower every district's assessment. So this is probably your worst case scenario. Well, this is your worst case scenario because the budget has been voted. It's just the assessment that has not had a final vote. So we'll get that information to Jeff and through Jeff to you on March 24th. But I did want to alert you that that number still has a possibility of movement, but in a good direction and going down.
Okay. Excellent.
Always good to hear.
Well, the
Mary
numbers,
Ann
the
Galezo, I
numbers
just,
going up a lot. We all acknowledge that. And, but, you know, Wilmington kids are, as Melanie said, not only are their numbers up this year, but our applications are way up from Wilmington students for next year's freshman class. So that's, and it's unclear whether, you know, how many will accept and how many will accept our acceptance. So those numbers don't work themselves out quite yet.
I just want to say that your social media platform is great. I mean, it's very informative and gets out to the public.
Oh, thank you.
All right, I did look it up. It was driving me crazy. So
I knew you would, Melanie. That's why I was vamping.
It's to replace an outdated Stanford or similar placement test. That's exactly what it is. That's about $8,000, $8,550. Sorry, it was bothering me. I had to look it up. So it is that they're looking to
I
purchase.
could see your wheels turning from here, Melanie, trying to figure that out.
It was bothering me. Sorry, I apologize.
No worries.
Okay. Any other questions?
Michelle Kincaid, I just want to say congratulations on making your school year a success and getting through this pandemic, which has been great. I mean, I give you kudos for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It sounds like you're doing a tremendous job. Certainly you already had a wonderful school system prior to this, and the fact that you've been weathering the storm so wonderfully is a great testament to your team, everybody. So congratulations on that, and thank you for everything you do for our Wilmington kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it. Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Right.
Okay, so first of all, I apologize. As soon as Melanie started her presentation, I lost all audio. So I had to eventually shut down my computer and get back on it again. So I came in not really knowing where we were. But in any event, are there any public comments, John?
We currently do not have any callers.
Okay, great. And I understand that the minutes are not available for tonight. The February 9th minutes, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, she's doing other jobs.
Well, she's got a lot of jobs now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, she's moving.
So I just want to mention that this Thursday, we will be meeting with the Wilmington School Department to review their budget. And there may have been some confusion in the last week or so about having a presentation during that meeting regarding the school buildings and the application to the state. That portion of that proposed piece is being rescheduled to March 11th, which will be the following Thursday, which is not typically on our schedule. So that's an additional meeting. Chris sent out last week a copy of the facilities master plan along with some other information. And I really would appeal to all of you to take a good look at it, specifically the school section. So it will tell you what the thinking was and what the rationale was for the plan that was eventually voted on and approved at the conclusion of the facilities master plan. That is going to be key in the discussions that will be coming up next week. I also would like it very much if you could make note to tune into the Board of Selectmen's meeting on Monday, as they will have the presentation made to them for their input. And then Wednesday, the school committee will be also receiving their presentation and discussing it. And then they'll come to us on Thursday. So these pieces are all very important so that we're up to speed on what will be brought into us on Thursday, March 11th.
Madam Chair, if I, Jeff Hull, if I could just interrupt you on one point. So the original plan was to have Superintendent Brand come into the Selectmen's meeting on March 8th and make the presentation that you will see and that the school committee will see. I did have a conversation this afternoon from Chairman Eaton. He expressed some concern about the selectmen seeing the presentation first before the school committee sees it, and he would like to have the opportunity as members of the board to see the presentation made to the school committee first, hear the questions, comments, and concerns they have. So as a consequence, the presentation that Glenn Brand was slated to make on the 8th is now going to be happening on the 15th at 7:15 p.m. And I would just note for anybody who may be interested is that same evening, we have a separate meeting with the Senior Center Committee, which originally George Hooper had slated that to start at 6:30. I've asked him to revise the schedule and move it back to 6 because there's a few of us that are doing double duty that night. So we want to be able to participate in both sessions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hull, for that update. So everybody pay attention, please, to all these things that are changing as we move forward in the next week or so. I just want to make sure that you're all up to speed and comfortable with not only participating in any discussions, but in understanding what the background is for the topics that will be coming up. Okay?
Yep.
And okay, so do we have any other questions or comments from anybody in the committee? No? Okay, that being the case, then I will accept a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn
And that was by,
by Michelle Kincaid.
okay. Is there a second?
Bernie,
I'll second it.
second it.
Okay. Bernie.
Second by Bernie.
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay, so Chairman Doherty is excused. John Dugas,
Yes.
Mary Ann
Yes.
Milazzo, Michelle Kincaid,
Yes.
Andrew Levine,
Yes.
Lee Martinson is excused, Bernie Nally,
Yep.
and Kevin Stokes is not here, and Teresa Manganelli approves. Okay, so we will see you on Thursday evening. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
Bye.
Night.
Good night.